call the meeting to order at 5:33. Mario, could you do the roll call, please?
Roll call. Armand.
Here.
Gary Ukes.
Yep.
Patrick Finn.
Yep.
The McKenna.
Yeah.
Mattiello.
Yep.
On the school side. A couple Sues, a Robin. Kathy.
I'm
Two Sues for Ellen.
on
Ellen.
that side, I just sat wrong.
Yeah.
Allie.
Ellen.
Ellen. He said Ellen.
He
I
said
said
it.
Ellen.
Yeah,
Come
okay.
on, Sue.
Sorry.
Did you get
The one
that
that
one?
keeps the meeting on track.
Yes, I got that.
One word.
Okay? You need to know who else is here?
That's it. Just want to make sure we have a quorum.
You do.
John's
Oh, we got a
on
quorum.
the line.
Oh,
John.
John,
John's on the line?
the line I did not see.
Ken.
There he is.
Ken.
Hi
there. Ken's there.
Ken and Kemper both on the line as well.
There's someone else.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Anybody else, Ellie, on the line?
No? Who's the one then? Is that you?
the what?
The one on top?
That's just on the top left.
That's Ken from
No,
Ken,
Orange.
because it
yeah.
said two before and then John came on and it says one.
It's made it missing.
Okay, cool.
Okay, Eddie?
Yep, there are no minutes, so approve the agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll take a motion.
Armand makes a motion,
I'll second.
seconded by Pat.
You're like an auctioneer.
Yeah, no more bets.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Public participation? Is there anybody on the line for public participation?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Next one is the architect update of staff meetings for design development. Just to let you know, Mario and I have been zooming in on most of the meetings. They've held a number of them: music department, the unified arts, the media center, the guidance, custodial, social studies and world language, the nurses. They've also held with the athletic department, the food service, and the school administration. With so many of these meetings where we need to look at the educational specs as they're doing it. So there may be a little minor tweaks and tweaks on the educational specs after what they're hearing from all of the participants. So we'll have that later on. The program sessions have been long, and sometimes we have not met with the middle school at the same time. So what Amy will tell you how they're going to parallel the meetings further on. We really want to get all these finished by the end of February because we want to keep on track with the schedule. So if Amy wants to continue to just give us an update on the staff meetings for design development. Amy, you there?
Yes, hello.
Okay.
Ally, can you make me be able to share my screen?
You can.
Thank you. Got it. Okay, everyone, just a quick update of work that we've been doing lately. I'm going to go through, we've been working on programming, as Ed mentioned, running a lot of programming meetings, gathering information. We've been out and visited the high school and also have been doing some site investigation work and looking to procure the survey. Although the snow is holding up the wetlands delineation right now. And then I'll just take a look at the schedule with you and a project website example. So as you can see on the screen, the calendar has been very full, mostly on Wednesdays, because we're trying to hold as many meetings as possible on Wednesday afternoons for the convenience of the staff. But we have been squeezing in meetings throughout the week as well, with anyone who is not held to the school schedule. So we've had 13 meetings so far. We have 7 more to go. So we're moving along pretty quickly, although the meetings are very long and detailed. We're pulling as much information as we can out of folks about their space needs, adjacency needs, information about how much they plan to store in their room or what kind of pedagogy they're going to use to teach in that room. And then what we'll do is we'll gather all that information and compare it to the ed spec, compare it to the course offerings and the staff count and the occupancy in each class. And then Amy Christmas really does a great job of overlapping the course offerings. So can some of the pathways share one lab space or large space? And can the classrooms be further utilized by having some of the pathway classes take place in them if they're not being used all 6 classes of the day? And how can we provide a really great space for the teachers to go when they do have downtime and they're not in their classroom? So we're working on all of that, and we'll share that out at the end of the month, as Ed mentioned. And I'll share the schedule in a minute. So as we look through, if things are not completely the same as the ed spec, we're trying our best to fit the program into the ed spec so that it doesn't require a lot of time to update, and it's not a big deal, but we just want to make sure that we're not making too many changes. If we do need to make changes to it, that's okay. The state allows for that in their process, but we would just have to go through the various approvals. So that's the piece that might hold up the schedule that we're trying to avoid. So I mentioned that we had a site visit. A few of our folks got out there and got to see the high school as it is, and really look at the grounds and get a feel for it. You can only get so much from looking at drawings and photos, right? So we've procured the survey, but again, it's kind of going to be a little while before they can do it. Maybe beginning of March, though, they're hopeful. We've talked to the traffic engineer, and we do need to circle back with Sue and others to just talk about if they did a traffic count now, how does this year, COVID, compare to your normal years? And, because I'm sure that you have less people on site at a time now. So we have to figure out how to best do the traffic analysis that is going to be required by your zoning department and the folks who are really going to look to approve all of this in a way that is accurate, even though counting right now might not be what's normal.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Does the city traffic department have any recent traffic counts or no? And did anybody check?
That's a great question. I don't know, but I will certainly flag to.
I know they do counts throughout the city, but I don't know how recent that would have been.
I appreciate that. And, certainly we'll check in with them before we do anything, because we want to find out what they need from us so that we provide them with the right data too.
Amy, they may have done a count when they put stop signs in front of the school. So they may have done a count then, because now we have stop signs.
4 years ago.
So they may have done a count then when they put up
Okay.
the stop signs.
That's great, because even if it was 4 years ago, it might be more accurate than what's happening today.
I think it's even sooner than 4 years.
Yeah,
I think.
more recent, okay, good. All right, so we'll give them a call, thank you. And you'll notice that on this survey, the sketch on the screen, we overlaid a couple of boxes that do show outside of your property line. It's not something that we had originally anticipated surveying, but through conversations, we think that the information at the corner where Daly Drive is, and then also along the Major Bessie, where there's a parking lot and a skate park, it might be worthwhile to get survey information there. So again, a little bit of further discussion, but that's the plan. And we did get a fee proposal from the surveyor for those areas separate from his standard fee, which was already included. So we have that to discuss as well. So this is no different than what you saw almost a month ago when I was last here. And we're really still in this important phase at the beginning where programming and conceptual design is overlapping with schematic design a bit. So we're still gathering a lot of information and making sure we have the right size building and footprint. But we also have, our designers who can't help themselves, the landscape architect and Julia and Mark, the architectural designers, who are working on some options for building forms and how it sits on the site. And so we look forward to sharing that with you at the next meeting. And then I wanted to also mention, I think I mentioned this at our last meeting, Ed and I have talked about it, but SLAM is able to provide a website for the project. And this is an example on the screen, and I can actually flip to a different screen and share that active. But I wanted you to see that what it does is allows us to post all of our drawings, post the meeting minutes. For example, the programming meetings that we're having, those are graphic programs. Right now, it's just boxes. They'll morph into little diagrams of individual suites and then the floor plans. And so they're big files. And rather than emailing them to everyone or just not being sure that everyone can receive them, I'd like to be able to put them on a website. Everyone can have username and password protected access. We can post renderings there. We can post the construction documents that, as we get further along. And we share that site, throughout the whole design process with the owner's rep, with the CM, and they'll be able to work back and forth with us for estimating and other documentation too. Oh. I think I have to reshare. I'd like to share the website and just show you some example of that. So I'm logged into this website as for a different project, and you'll notice that across the top, there's the different, there's programming, there's design, there's construction and contracts. We probably won't use construction, context, sorry. We won't use construction for this project because O&G has a website that we'll use for that kind of communication. But for the design phases, you'll see that that brings up a different screen. It has schematic design, design development, and construction documents. If you dig further into that and click on one of those, there's a series of options. So if I went to presentations, you can see that on that project, here's a number of presentations that we gave during design development. Let me see, sorry. Good. And that will open in a PDF form fairly quickly. And you can see the renderings and other, in this one, it was an interior design presentation. And so it just shared some options for that. And I'm gonna go back. Okay, and so then that just brings me to next steps. We're gonna take the programming meetings through, and our last meetings are scheduled for the 17th. And then we'll meet with the administration folks to review those findings and make sure that we're all on the same page. And then meet again with the large leadership group to share out the project goals that we collected from them and the results of the programming meetings. And then we'll dive more deeply into conceptual design. And so I hope that the next time we come back here, and I'm not sure if your next meeting is the 4th of March, but it made sense to me in the calendar that it might be. But really at the beginning of March is a perfect time for us to come with some conceptual design ideas. And so then we'll really be sharing some architecture on the screen instead of just words. So I look forward to that. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to take them. Otherwise, all set.
I did just want you've done you're 2/3 of the way through the first round of the
Okay.
meetings.
Mhm.
Is there going to be follow-up meetings with those groups as well to?
There will definitely be follow-up meetings with them throughout the design process. Whether or not we have to have a particular second programming meeting with them will be dependent on how closely their needs reflect are driving with the ed spec and how closely the total building comes into the allowable area that the state has us shooting for the school itself. So if all of that aligns, we'll need less meetings. If it doesn't, then we'll need to really challenge some of those, wants and decide what's a want and what's a need. So we're ready to do that if we need to.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I missed the last meeting. Geotech and environmental testing, is that in the queue or is that something that? you're
It
gonna
is. So, well, actually, your site environmental has largely been done. You have a phase 1 and a phase 2 complete.
Well, I meant the testing of materials.
Testing of
in the building.
Sure, yes. So Eagle Environmental is our consultant for the
Right.
building materials. And Wealthy Associates is gonna do our geotech. No sense in sending geotech out yet because we don't know exactly where the building's gonna land. But we will be doing that alongside the schematic design once we have the building settled.
Okay.
And environmental testing for the building. First, we'd like to receive from you all the AHERA report. And I did reach out to John Barlow to get that. And then we'll let Eagle take a look at that and then they can schedule a good
What is
date.
the AHERA report? What is that?
That is, every school is required to keep track of their asbestos and other hazardous materials. And so that's the report that would be for the high school building. All right, anything else?
Yeah, John did mention, he's got that up to date, he said.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He has to.
Yeah,
It's part of his job.
right.
I just want to thank Amy and her team because they've done a phenomenal job and really being good listeners. And as we were walking in, I was saying, you must be really okay with the mess because right now we're in the mess, right? So we're throwing all these things out. They're trying to make meaning of it. And then we're going to pull it apart and make sure that we've adhered to ed specs and all the things that we said we were going to do, square footage. So I know that ultimately I have faith that we will get there.
You will,
But right
and-
now
and-
we're in the big messy.
Right, so this is what you'll end up with. This is a much smaller school, so this example is far smaller than what you'll end up with. We'll probably have 2 or 3 graphic programs, one for the middle school, one for the high school, and one for the central office. But right now, for each of the focus group meetings, we'll meet and talk about just the blue spaces, or we'll meet and talk about just the green spaces. And that means something to me because I know that we always use green for gymnasiums and athletics departments. And I know it doesn't mean anything to you yet, but you'll get used to those colors too. Because from this, these squares that just represent the size relative to one another, we literally take those squares. So there's a program called Dynamo where the graphic program gets translated into Revit, and the room names and titles come from the programming meetings that we did. This way, when we're building the building, we know that we're not missing a space or lose track of a little storage room that is necessary, or even a bigger room, you know. So those colors kind of stay with us, and then the floor plan, you'll see those departments showing up with the colored floor plans as well.
It's very exciting.
It is, it is. This is like the most fun part of a project for us, so. Well, that and seeing it be built too. Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we're gonna hand these out. Construction Solutions. Eddie?
Yeah.
We're handing out the construction solutions agreement.
Yep. Everybody received it again this week. And we're just handing it out again. As my note to everybody on Wednesday, February 3rd, attaches the updated and final agreement with Construction Solutions. The only changes were to the insurance requirements as per the city's insurance company, Kerma. There were two, and I'll go over those. The other change was the execution of the agreement now is the Torrington Board of Ed. City Council action on May 21st, 2020, named the Board of Ed as the building committee. Therefore, the named parties to the contract should be the city and the Board of Education. The building committee will approve and recommend all agreements and contracts and then forward them to the Board of Ed for their approval. This is much easier than the building committee because of reliability and so forth. It's better that the Board of Ed, which is not named as the building committee, should approve the contract, and city council. I will be talking to city council on the 16th, I think it is, on Tuesday. Mario and I will go Zoom in and go over this contract. They have the old one. I will send them the new one. The only changes were, if you look on page 2, we added on line 5, where it says CSG shall be responsible, and we added the warrant and liable. That was the only thing we added there. On page 9.
Hold what, Betty?
I don't see them.
Is that
Yes.
section 5 or?
No, page 2, line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going down from the top.
One,
Still see it too?
Yeah.
It's,
I don't.
oh, it's 7.
Yeah,
It's
fine.
line
Be up on the
7.
bottom of the paragraph.
Same paragraph?
Yeah,
It's
gotcha.
third up from the bottom.
It's the first paragraph on the
Yeah.
page. Okay.
Right there. And we
Yeah.
added the word and liable. That was it.
Okay,
Thank you.
On page 9, we just changed to have the Torrington Board of Ed sign it,
okay.
okay? And on page 17, Kerma wanted us to add the following.
Seventeen.
5 III, the policy shall provide for an extended reporting period of no less than 36 months from the latter of the completion or termination of this agreement.
Gotcha.
So that's, Kerma wanted that and the other word, but that's the only change, plus the Board of Ed that is in here. Everything else stays the same.
Very Very good.
Can I ask a question? Are we allowed to ask questions about this?
Sure. Question up here from Donna.
Yeah,
Say there's something like a pandemic. I mean, I see the termination clauses, but what if there's a natural disaster, or do we have the right, is there the right to suspend at all? Kind of pause as opposed to terminate and stop the clock on work and responsibility for payment, I guess is my question. Tornado or something, or a pandemic. That was, I maybe kind of understood in there somehow, but,
I mean, we do typically see it in the AA contract with a contract.
Right.
Always see it. I don't know. I've never dealt with this.
No, I haven't seen it either. There's something called the force majeure clause
right.
that I don't see in here. That generally just would excuse a party from acting if there was something that fell within the terms of the provision.
Right, but that's not in there.
No, it is not.
Yeah. OMG might. I don't know. Force majeure clause, or what are you guys doing to deal with the COVID and suspension, or?
We've seen that. I think we've had a few contracts take different directions as far as how it's addressed.
There's no uniform approach.
That's the concern of the two lawyers on the panel here, that we don't have that, they don't see it in the contract.
Yeah, I think what a lot of it we've been doing is that it's contingent upon, based upon the executive orders that are in place at the time that the agreement was reached, and that executive orders that happen outside of that are unforeseen there.
But how about force majeure? That's in you have that in every one of your contracts, don't you? You must.
Yeah, but since Mark, that has been advisable. Like, we could probably share some of that information. We've seen also.
There's no uniform approach.
I'm not a lawyer, I'm in life. You wanted to look into it.
Eddie,
yeah, I can't hear,
Oh.
but,
you need to ask the Shipman and Goodwin
yep.
about that exact scenario.
Okay, what is it again?
If there's a natural disaster or another pandemic and work has to stop,
Right.
can the contracts be frozen? Do they need to be extended? Am I right there?
Yeah, just a way to suspend payments, because otherwise we're saying we're paying for basically 182
Right.
weeks for phase 1 and phase 2. But if we had to pause, is there?
Right. So if the job has to stop, the payments have to stop.
Okay, so, no problem. I just want to get it moving, so can we approve it with just, and I'll come back to you with that determination, so I can send it next week or the week after to city council.
I think you're okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not used to these big ones, but I don't see anything like a final payment, making sure there's like a release of waivers, a release of liens on if they're doing subcontracting or anything. That was my only other question.
Oh, their work is in-house.
Yeah, they're not, they wouldn't be.
I didn't think so.
The mechanical liens and all that, you can't, I don't think you do on a municipal project anyway, but that would be under the other contracts.
It does allow for them to hire and engage subcontractors.
No, it's all in-house.
It will be.
Yeah.
Okay. There's some subcontractor language that.
Yeah, there's no subcontractors with Construction Solutions.
Okay.
Okay, good.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion to approve this with the caveat that Ed will look into the
And we make the change and bring it back.
pandemic situation.
Just say it to everybody, send it to everybody.
I think force majeure and pandemic, because, I mean, I didn't realize that they were here, but you typically see that in your contracts, force majeure or not?
It varies. It
Yeah,
varies.
So I think the two lawyers, I think we should have it, so.
Okay, Eddie?
consider it.
Okay,
All right, we got a second on that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Gary. All in favor?
All right.
Passes, Eddie.
okay. The next item Update of enrollment projections, you have that?
I can do. Are they both the same?
They're one's at 90% and one's at 97%. I sent it out.
This is 97 people. This one's at 90. Yeah, it's definitely bigger. It's at the top.
Yeah, I see it.
97 and 90. Here comes 90.
Scenario.
If you,
How many are there? I know.
we had NESDEC updated. Their last one that they gave us was on 11/12.
Hold on, Ed.
Hold on 1 second, Eddie.
Okay,
Everybody got a 90 and a 97?
Yeah, it says in the upper.
Right here.
I have one.
Everybody good? Any 90s?
Thank you.
okay.
Okay,
NESDEC did the first one on 11/12/2019, and we asked them to update it with the scenario that kids would come back to Torrington. So if you look at the 97, if you look at that 1 year, 21-22, we thought it was going to be 1571. They have 1580. But what we're looking at also is on that year when they first did it, they had high school students 912 at 908, and there is at 935 now. That's what they're saying. And that we had middle school 7-8 at 664, and they have it. They have it 664. They had it at 592. So there's a difference of only 9 students, but there's a shift in the population. So that's the architect is aware of that, and we have to look at that going forward to see about the size of the high school and the size of the middle school. So the numbers have changed from when they first did it in 2019 to now. So it was 908, and now it's 935, and it was 664, now it's 645. And you look at the next year, it's the same thing. If you look at the year 23-24, they've had 980 for high school and 566 for middle school. So that's a change of the high school and the middle school projections from 2019. The reason why they updated the projections is they also looked at birth rate and so forth. If you go to the next one for the 90th one, they can put it on the screen? No. Okay, this is the 90. If you look down, again, they have 1580. It's almost the same, 935, and so forth. So between a 90 and 97, it doesn't change, but it does change from the year 2019. The architects have that, and they're reviewing those numbers to see how it affects the size of the high school and the size of the middle school. I don't know if Amy wants to say anything about that, or Kemp.
Sure, I can. Essentially, we were looking at a high school highest population of 907 in the original grant application. And so now to see it at 980, that really does affect, if you think 25 kids per class, that's adding 3 classrooms or, something in the neighborhood of 2,000 square feet probably to the building. Now that's on the high school side. And at the same time, the middle school numbers are in decline in that same year. And if the state is asking us to look at the highest total population, 7 through 12, then there's not really a change to the allowable area in the school, the total building, but there's a discrepancy between whether there's extra kids in those 9 through 12 years or in the 7th and 8th grade. So especially in this particular case where it's important to the community to build separate the same building, separate distinct areas for 7th and 8th grade versus 9 through 12, it will be difficult to share those 2 to 3 extra classrooms that we need. When you first move into the building, you might need those classrooms in 7th and 8th grade, and then a couple of years later, you might need it, or vice versa, in 9 through 12. So we're looking at that closely, because we want to make sure that we have enough space for everyone, no matter what grade they're in. And we know it's important to the community to keep those populations separate. If they could all share typical classrooms, then it wouldn't be as much of a design issue.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that.
Yeah. And I think, it might be that for a few years, right now, if you're running at 22 kids per class or 23 kids per class, for a few years, you might have 27 kids per class, instead of building 3 extra classrooms that are going to sit idle. So we'll be looking at that closely.
So that's why we wanted to update the enrollment and to make sure the building is sized right for the enrollment for the middle school and the high school. Any other questions for Amy or myself on that?
Ed, it's Donna again. I'm not in there, but I just wanted to be clear. Did this have an assumption of bringing a certain percentage of kids that are outplaced now back in, or was it just revised for birth rate, et cetera?
No, they were looking at it, bring it back in, and also look at the birth rates that are occurring, that's going down. So they looked at both of those, and that's what we told them to do, and they came up with these figures. And we'll still be looking at it, and if we have to go back to NESDEC, we will again. They've been very cooperative in doing this. Okay, the next item, it's not on the agenda, but Amy talked about it. It's their proposal for the website. And Mario, you have that?
Yes, sir. Mario has it. That's this one, right? What's the other one?
Mario,
Yes,
you need to make a motion to add to the agenda.
Oh, it's not on there?
all right. They got Ellen this year, right?
I'll make the motion
Go ahead, Ellen.
to add to the agenda under 6D, proposal for the website.
Oh, I'm sorry.
For the spam website, right? Slam, sorry.
No spam on the slam.
Sorry.
And
Second,
what's this one?
I second. Okay, thank you. Okay, proceed.
Shall I hand that out as well?
Sure, that's referred to in the.
Keep it going, folks. Here's the legalese portion of it, guys. Really, because Ed loves paper. All right, so I'm gonna keep this and this for Eddie.
Who seconded this? I, Donna. Donna.
Okay, Ed,
Yep, okay. So Amy, if you want to just, they can read it, but you want to just review it with us, please?
Sure. So essentially, the website will remain, this proposal suggests that the website will remain in place throughout the duration of the project. There is an initial setup fee for us to acquire the web address. I'm not really, maybe Ally might have to help me with the discussion about it, but, you know, my IT department handles that piece of it, and they set it up. We customize it to the project. You'll have your Torrington logo and the school names, and then renderings that will be adjusted, you know, with it. And then there's a small fee per month to keep it active. And then the terms of this letter do suggest that you can terminate that at any time. So for example, if you only want us to hold the website active through to the end of construction documents, and we can then just give you all of that information on a flash drive or load it to your own server, that's fine. And so you'll still have the content, but it won't be active and accessible if you want us to shut down the website at any point in time. So the monthly fee is going to be just for the duration that you intend.
You reference Oxbridge, did you purge all that information out of this document? It says enclosures, project website, user agreement for Oxbridge Elementary.
Oh, I apologize.
So I'm just making sure you purged it out of it.
So I purged it out of the attachment, yes. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, so again, the fee that's described can be adjusted by the month, but really it's the initial fee, and then I would suggest that you have it for at least the 13 months of design, where we'll be able to share with you all those options.
What's this? Sorry,
Would it also be able to be extended
Yes,
if you need it?
absolutely.
And is that in here that it can be extended, and at what rate?
It's the same monthly rate. I think we just said that the amount of months can be adjusted.
Either way?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely, right. So for example, if the construction schedule goes a little bit longer,
There's
and we
a
want to
clause.
access things throughout that, that's fine too.
All right, thank you.
Did we have this, I don't know if it's in your original proposal or not, but do we have it in the budget for this somewhere, or is this a change ad, or is this?
This is an add to our original proposal. It's not something that every project utilizes.
Okay.
This was not in the matrix that we gave on the bidding process.
Yeah, that's cool. You said that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
You should go,
all
right?
right. So we'll have to
it's,
clean up
yeah,
that
it's an
letter.
organic
Yeah.
document.
The numbers.
Final copy.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, again,
Unless
the
it's
10
shorter or
is
longer.
it's a suggestion.
Right,
You
right.
could go for that amount of months or less. Or more.
Yeah, I think it's probably-
Right. It's essentially the 1,500 plus 200 a month. And then
Mario, what did you have there? You made a change?
Yeah, on the slam cover page, Eddie,
Yeah,
right above the box,
yeah,
it says the total anticipated cost for the proposed
Right.
duration is 11.5. It should be 10.7.
correct. Thank you.
But that number is very flexible right now.
Correct,
Depends how
correct.
long we keep the service for.
Yeah.
Okay,
Any other questions? Can we have a motion to approve this agreement fee proposal
With changes?
Change.
with the change? Thank you.
I'll make a motion.
Armand, have a second?
I'll second.
Casey.
Casey,
I'll second.
any discussion? All in favor? Aye, opposed? Okay, thank you. That's all I have. Comments for the good of the order? Mary, you want to start?
Yes, I want to double down on what Sue said. I've been listening to these phone conversations or Zoom conversations, and the ladies are everybody's doing a great job. The two Amy's are doing a great job. I'd like to see some of our people a little bit more armed with, prepared. I think you're handing out agendas now, right?
We're trying.
Right.
Yes.
So
Yep,
we
we're
discussed
getting
the
there.
other day, if you guys could get an agenda in a decent amount of time, then the people who are gonna be on the call will know what to expect. And they could rattle off the answers a little quicker.
Right.
Um,
And we understand that it's a new process.
It is.
You all have day jobs and they have.
It
day
is a
jobs.
new process for everybody, and
I read this.
no, this is my day job. I do my day job at night. I don't sleep much. We have to, we're educating everybody, including ourselves.
Right, I think that's the thing, one of the, well, as we were going through this process, you asked a question about, okay, middle school and high school, and then we're so used to thinking in middle school as 6, 7, 8, okay, now it's only gonna be 7, 8.
Yeah.
And then we're thinking of that in a different way, because you're only dealing with 2 grades, and then thinking about the whole security factor, which, we deal in education, we deal in instruction, so that's right up our alley. And then we're like, okay, we got to pull in some other people at the table. So there's a variety of different things that we're just really having to do. Just mind shifts from the most basic of, well, gee, no kidding, it's 7 and 8, but we just don't, we're not thinking that way because we haven't had to. And then just making the shift in terms of, yeah, it's everything. It's the space allocation, it's the safety, it's the
There's a lot
whole
that
ball
goes
of
into
wax for us to really think about. So
it.
we will try and bring the right people to the table as well.
Yeah, and I think there's a certain degree, because I'm feeling it already, that you're getting this sprawling building and you're gonna be able to include everything in it. And it's just not the truth,
Right, exactly. So people are going on and on.
Right.
Or they're saying, okay, well, this is what we have now. So if
Right.
we just fit that into this space instead of thinking, okay, and they're really pushing us, which is a good thing, challenging us to think outside the box. Okay, if you had your druthers, how would you like to lay it out? What would be the best flow? What makes the most sense now that you've got 7 and 8, you've got 9 through 12? And,
Yeah, well, I think they're doing a great job.
yes.
And it'll come out in the wash, right?
It will.
Yeah.
It will. I think, it does get more challenging before it gets easy.
Sure.
So we'll be looking closely at what spaces are necessary and how we can use them all. Like we would love to have every pathway have its own, special
Right.
space. But I think that some of them might be able to share a few spaces, and so that's what we're looking for.
Great. Anybody else? Okay, let's go this way, or we go, is it proper to go clockwise or counter?
Whatever you want to do, you just.
Ladies.
I like to go the ladies.
Well, I already shared. Thank you.
Yes. Robbie?
Yeah, no, it's been an amazing learning experience and process and really enjoying dreaming.
I
and
know.
everything. It is hard to answer some of the questions that are, 4 years out or 3 years out, but
Yeah.
it's exciting, super exciting.
Yeah. Ditto. Very excited. I'm so happy and excited to be part of the process.
Yeah, we all are.
It's going to be a great thing for the students of Torrington, so that's very exciting. They deserve it.
Agreed, and I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I would think that this stage and meeting with the programming cohorts I would love to be there, like just as a fly on the wall and just hear the dreams. I think that's such a fun part of the job. So maybe I'll switch careers, but.
Well, we're happy to send you a link.
Yeah, I know, and I'm looking forward to the website, yeah.
Yeah, you can listen in to one of the calls if you like.
Yeah, I could.
I put them on every day.
Donna will be on the next art.
Good
Oh,
idea.
cool. Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
does work for the ballet company.
I think it's exciting too, but I'm like Donna, I'm not coming out of retirement to get to do something.
Gotta draw the line somewhere.
I can't wait to hear what the educators have to say about the Pathways program, how it's all gonna fit together. That'll be exciting.
I'll agree with everybody, but I think the panels turned out to be a real strong panel. It's helpful to have people from the private sector,
Yeah,
especially when it comes to these kinds of things tonight.
I think, I'm sorry, Armand, go ahead.
I say thank you to everybody. Keep going, keep plugging forward.
I think we're all very happy with the team that we've assembled.
Don't forget the
So,
people on Zoom.
So tomorrow you got,
People on this.
People on Zoom.
oh, I
John.
forget, John Kisco, I'm looking at the calendar.
Good meeting. Sorry, my 4 o'clock meeting ran too late for me to be there tonight, but good meeting tonight. Ally, good audio tonight. Very easy to understand everything.
Are you in Greece, John?
Well, the Parthenon, we're talking architecture, right? That's the Parthenon.
I appreciate it, and I noticed right away.
You got you in Greece and you got Eddie in Naples. Right? So tomorrow you guys got a call, right? Well, that's the performing arts,
Oh, yeah?
right, Rob? Right, Amy?
We have the middle school performing arts. Yes.
You want Donna on that?
Yeah, we did our
Donna,
initial.
get on, get on. And then Amy, you sent out a few others. You're gonna fill the calendar again for more, next week?
Next week, there's one on Monday,
Let me get that. Oh, yeah, athletic.
athletic for middle school.
Mhm.
And then there's 3 on Wednesday.
Big day,
It is.
big day Wednesday. Wednesday, you got criminal justice, pathways, English and math and health and wellness.
Correct.
Thursday's a filler probably.
I don't think we have any on Thursday, and we do have one on Friday.
Not that you've sent out an invite yet.
That's right.
I was gonna say, be published somewhere so that we can drop in on any of them that we want to, or?
It's in the presentation that I gave tonight, which I'll be happy to leave with Ally for printing. Can we do that? Okay.
I can get an email out to us.
I have it on a flash drive if you want. Or I can email you.
If you can email it to me, it's better.
Eddie, you got anything else, pal?
No, I just want to appreciate Mario being on the calls with me, and we commiserate after it. So,
Ed, you're missing Marzano's pizza tonight.
oh,
Gary finally loosened up.
thank you.
He got his first payment from Chipotle.
I'm gonna pay for that I'll probably pay for that in the long run there, Gary, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, every pizza that goes out free, the price goes up to the
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sorry I'm not there. I'll be there. The next meeting is, we'll have March 4th, right after the 3rd, which is with all the other presentations. And I'll be there and we'll have dinner. Okay, sorry about it. Any other,
You'll be back in March, Ed?
yeah, oh yeah, I'll be back. Yep.
Okay.
I'll be there.
That's
You
good.
missed a good snowstorm.
Yeah.
But that's okay, we talked to him
Sure,
every day. Including weekends. He doesn't get a break.
No break.
He's working from the pool.
How about Janet and Kent? Do you want to ask them if they would-
So, any other comments?
Kenny, Kemp?
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to thank you all for the nice comments. Amy and Amy are doing a great job, and Kristen and so forth, and I appreciate all the participation. One thing that I wanted to note that I think it was after about the second or third programming meeting, we started to record them so we can post all those to the website, and you can watch to your heart's desire.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Amy announces before the meeting that they're being taped, so.
When she remembers.
Kristen always reminds us.
Yes.
Our colleague, she shared a picture of her at-home workstation, and she has a sticky note on her monitor.
Okay. we're gonna
Okay,
make
can I have a motion?
to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Everybody.
Everybody keep safe and healthy, please.
Thanks.